The MLB The Show 22 feature deep dive schedule has been revealed, and let's just say it's created a lot of excitement for some groups of the community, but very much ignited the fire within another. One that was caught off guard due to the fact that the name of their favorite mode wasn't even mentioned. This, of course, is franchise mode. And yes, I play franchise mode. As the news came out, I have to be honest and say I was a bit taken aback, but really I was already coming to the grips with the reality that franchise mode is at the end of its rope. And that's really the reason why I made Is Franchise Mode Mid? Now, I know there's a lot of signs here that probably point to the inevitable, but I am going to optimistically wait to hear about March to October. But if I'm really being honest, this schedule to me is the nail in the coffin that March to October is the future of franchise mode. Now, before we talk about March to October and the future of franchise mode, I want to make sure we talk about what's coming in the feature premieres that are rolling out over the next 7 weeks. Each episode will cover new and improved features in MLB The Show 22. The first feature premiere is Wednesday, so February 16th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. It'll cover details on online co-op and the technical test. Every week thereafter, leading up to launch, the feature premieres will be on Thursday at 3 p.m. PSD and cover a whole range of topics that we're going to run through here in a second. Now, I'll also be going through deep dives into those features after they come out, so please consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date with all the MLB The Show 22 news. All right, so as we said before, we're about 7 weeks away till launch, and here is the official roadmap about each feature premiere and the reveals coming throughout it. So tomorrow, online co-op and the technical test. In the online competitive co-op, you'll be able to play 2v2 and 3v3 in online play now and also Diamond Dynasty. Now, I'm making another video to go a little bit deeper into that, but this is actually really exciting, something that's going to breathe new life into the mode. Now, for February 24th, they're going to be covering the Nintendo Switch. Now, the obvious is taking a deeper look at the graphics, or also some of the changes and concessions that they're going to have to make to really port the PS4 version of the show onto the Nintendo Switch. On March 3rd, a big feature premiere, we're going to be talking about the gameplay updates, pitching, hitting, and fielding. Now, we didn't get any hints at what any of these features will be, but of course, earlier in that week, we're going to get maybe a little bit of a video from Coach. Then on March 10th, an entire feature premiere dedicated to commentary. Now, I find it really interesting that there's an entire one dedicated to commentary, but franchise isn't mentioned here, but that's, I mean, still, commentary is a big part of the game. Presentation's a big part of the game. Then on March 17th, March to October, and the presentation update. So this is the big one. Like we said before, March to October is set to have a few improvements this year that they've talked about earlier. Franchise not mentioned. I really hope that they have put themselves together a banger with March to October. Then on March 24th, it's Road to the Show and Ball Player. As mentioned before, this is one of the most played modes alongside Diamond Dynasty. So expecting big updates here. Really excited to see what that is. And then on March 31st is the Diamond Dynasty live content and esports update. So a competitive angle to MLB The Show finally coming in. Maybe something, in the game. There's been a lot of talk about, hey, can MLB The Show actually get weekend league? That should be a really big update, and that propels us right into the April 1st early access. Now, going back to March to October, the March 17th, a couple years ago, I made a video that was 2019, I think it was, where I walked through the evidence that March to October was being primed to be the long-term solution for franchise mode. That they were trying to tackle the complexity of the experience based on the data that people are less likely to play more than one season. They're a little too intimidated on how that actually works, and there's also a massive time commitment if you want to play 160 plus games, depending on if you make the playoffs or not every year. And that's not to mention playing some of the minor league games, which you have the ability to do too. So to really get through a season, and be talking 300 games, which that's a 1,000-hour experience there. Now, March to October aims to make it more story-driven, easier to progress through the franchise, interject you into key moments so that you have the ability to handle the outcome, but you're not bound to playing every single pitch. Now, while I support the idea of making it easier to progress through seasons in franchise mode, I don't think that they have quite struck gold with the March to October model yet. Now, this is the year that they have said in the feature write-up that March to October will have quote-unquote updated mode tools to utilize custom uniforms, logos, and creative stadiums. Now, we're going to have our sights laser focused on the 17th to see what the true story is about what's happening with March to October and franchise mode. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments about all of this, the roadmap, also March to October, And until the next one, we'll see ya. Peace.